This isn't about rankings. It's about which style actually wins championships. Indiana controls games. Miami breaks them. One of those styles will win this championship. Tonight, we'll tell you which one and why. Welcome to the Cincinnati Sports Scene Podcast. I am Dave. He's Sam. Tonight's show is all about the national championship, Indiana versus Miami. And this has nothing to do with rankings, conferences, or brand names. This is identity versus identity, structure versus swagger, control versus chaos. Indiana is here because they dominate games with discipline, precision, and consistency. Miami is here because they impose their will, physical, explosive, built to break teams mentally and physically. One team wants to manage the game, the other wants to blow it up, and only one of those styles still wins championships. This is the Cincy Sports Scene Podcast, episode 159, Indiana, Miami, for the national title. Let's talk football. All right, before we even get into these matchups and players, this game represents something so much bigger. This isn't Indiana versus Miami, right? It's structure versus swagger, like I said, control versus pressure, system football versus trench dominance. Indiana is the most disciplined team in college football. They win by staying ahead of their mistakes, by forcing you to play perfect, and by never beating themselves. Miami is just the opposite, right? They win by imposing themselves, by being physical, by turning games into uncomfortable environments where mistakes happen. This championship decides which of those identities still will win the college football playoff. So we're going to get into the breakdown of each team. Sam is going to take IU. I'm going to take Miami. He's going to give a little statement about Indiana, a couple of keys to victory, an X factor, and then a deal breaker. And then I'll do the same for Miami. So Sam, why don't you go ahead and...
Yeah, so IU all year, their MO has just been controlling the line of scrimmage, controlling time of possession, just kind of enforcing their will by staying disciplined, like you mentioned. I mean, they're one of the least penalized teams in the country. That's Cignetti's style, and it helps being as experienced as they are, that they can go into any environment and keep their composure. I mean, we saw it. They went out to the Rose Bowl, dominated Alabama, but whatever bowl it was against Oregon, and just tattooed them. I mean, it wasn't flashy plays, you know. They weren't just hitting 80-yard bombs left and right with explosive playmakers. They were just controlled. They didn't make a single mistake in either of those two games, just up and down the field. They hit an explosive play every now and then, you know, but nothing consistent. So, I mean, that's their MO, control time of possession, 10-play, 80-yard touchdown drives. That's what they want to do. Eat up 6-7 minutes on the clock and just wear you down and steal your soul, basically. You know, that's their offense. Switching over to their defense, I mean, they want to force you 3 and out. That's their whole MO. You know, that way they can control the time of possession with their offense. I mean, the Oregon game, it was very lopsided time of possession wise. Same with Alabama's game. I mean, they almost had the ball 40 minutes in both of those games. So, I mean, it's tough to lose a game when you control the ball like that. Their defense gets after it. Their defense is physical, can stop the run. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle Malachi Toney. You know, they did really well against Jeremiah Smith, but Miami will put Toney in the backfield as well. So that way they can get him the ball. Whereas if you are able to slow down Jeremiah Smith on the outside, you can kind of take him away. You know, you can take Toney away from being a receiver, but can you take him away from being a running back or the Wildcat quarterback? Now, that's one thing Miami's going to do is get the ball in his hands. So they've got to limit Miami's explosive plays. And how do you do that? Get them in 3rd and long. You have your offense on the field, keeping their offense on the sidelines. If they can do that, if they can have a 35 to 40 minutes of time of possession, they're going to.
So who's your X factor in this game for IU?
To me, it's not one player, it's their running back tandem. Black and what's the other guy's name? I'm blanking on his name right now. I can't think of what his name is, but their tandem, because that just helps them control time of possession. And we know Mendoza is accurate as all get out. I mean, he's up close to 80% accuracy in these college football playoffs. So we know he's not going to miss. He's not going to struggle, but their running game is going to keep the time of possession in their favor. So that's the X factor for me.
Okay. And then your deal breaker. What is one thing Indiana absolutely cannot allow to happen?
They can't turn the ball over. Because, you turn the ball over. We saw it. Miami can take it back for 6 just with the defense. We've seen that already. It sets up their offense to have an explosive play, and then your time of possession is killed if you turn the ball over. So, it's the oldest cliche in football. Whoever wins the turnover battle is probably going to win the game. So, you take that philosophy into every game. Obviously, you don't want to turn the ball over. But, if IU doesn't turn the ball over, they're tough to beat. But it's Hemby and Black are the 2 running backs.
Okay. Yep. Tendy and Black. Well, for me, Miami's path to victory, they win this game by controlling, I believe, the trenches. And it's similar to what you said for IU, the pace of the game. Now, IU wants to go a little more methodical. I think Miami wants to speed you up a little bit, or at least take the shots when the shots is there. I don't think they can get into a score for score with IU, because IU's just, they're very good. But I think Miami needs to be more physical. They have to be a little more disciplined and more suffocating. So how do they do that? The first thing they need to do is own the line of scrimmage. And we all know that a championship starts in the trenches, right? Miami has to make this just a big boy game, right? That means on offense, establishing the run, forcing IU to respect the box. And then once IU respects that box, then we can get Tony out there in the open, and maybe take a shot down the field a few times. On defense, it means collapsing the pocket and not letting Mendoza get comfortable. Because if Mendoza is comfortable, we saw what he can do against some really good teams. But with Bain and company, if those 4 can get constant pressure on Mendoza, I think everything's going to fall into place for Miami. The second thing is, I think they got to dictate tempo. They've got speed. I think their cornerbacks are really good at coverage. The game against in the semifinal there, where they just read the quarterback. He knew it was a play, and it was like that little bubble swing, and the guy just stepped right in front of it and picked it off, or pick 6.
Oh yeah, against Ohio State.
Yeah. And it was just like, they saw that coming, and they're going to know. They're going to know what IU wants to do. I think they have to be very opportunistic with their tempo. If a drive calls for, like you said, 8, 10 plays, run it. Don't get anxious that you have to hit the big shot all the time. When it happens, it'll happen. And if they can win the field position battle, that'd be good. And then turn the pressure into points, right? So their defensive pressure, they need to create points off of that, either points off of turnovers or disruptions, whether it's a pick 6, a fumble recovery, punt block, something like that, or they can get a turnover and capitalize with touchdowns. Okay, they need touchdowns. Field goals probably won't do it, but touchdowns will. So those are some of the key points, I believe, for the game. I think the X factor to go along with you is not just a one-man show. It's Miami's defensive front, right? If they can win on early downs, get pressure with just 4, force 3rd and long, force Mendoza into uncomfortable situations, then I think Indiana's entire game plan changes. And can they adapt and change that? If they want to run the football and Miami stuffs the run and gets pressure on Mendoza in 2nd and long, and then we're looking at 3rd and long, how does that look, right? And then the deal breaker for me is it's not IU, it's actually Miami itself, right? They cannot give free yards to IU by penalties. They cannot extend drives for IU with creating a stupid penalty. Miss assignments in coverage, Mendoza will eat you up. They can't make mistakes. If they want to win, they got to play mistake-free football. And you mentioned that with IU as well. Whoever wins the turnover battle, but it's not just turnovers. It's penalties, and it's stupid penalties. There are times where Miami will shoot themselves in the foot because they make a bad play. It's just, to me, they have to be more disciplined, more controlling, and you're going to have I mean, shoot, it's being played in Miami, right? Isn't it played in Joe Robbie? Or, I mean, their home stadium or somewhere close to it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And I mean, that place is going to be rocking. All the U is going to be down there. Michael Irvin's going to be on the sideline. Ray Lewis, he'll probably come out of the tunnel first, stuff like that. So they're going to have to control all that chaos as well, all that pressure, all that hype. And if they can do that, control that line of scrimmage, be disciplined, I think Miami takes it. Thoughts on Miami real quick? I mean,
yeah, I think Ruben Bain's going to be the difference maker for them. If he can create the pressure on Mendoza and just make him uncomfortable, that can disrupt IU's whole offensive game plan. I mean, both of these teams, they know exactly what the other's trying to do. Neither one of them is going to change how they play. So it truly is just best on best. Who is actually better? We're not changing anything up to try and scheme against what you do best. We're sticking to our guns, and both teams are going to do that. So, I mean, Miami's only going to rush 4. That's what they do because, I mean, both of their ends can get after it. So, I mean, if IU can hold up against the 4-man rush and then Miami has to start blitzing, they're not necessarily used to that. And Mendoza can pick you apart. If he gets one-on-one with Surratt, he's throwing it up. And more times than not, Surratt's going to make that play. So it's imperative for Ruben Bain and blanking on the other guy's name. As a door maybe on the other side to get after him and create some havoc.
Yeah, that's what they have to do. And for IU, this is a huge, I mean, the championship game is huge for all of them, but for a team that has been, you don't want to say the laughing stock, but they
have the most losses in Division One.
Yeah.
Like they are.
Yeah, they were the laughing stock, right? And hate to say it, has always been a basketball school. These last 2 years would dispute that, right? So that added pressure of, hey, we need to cement who we are and make this a football school. You never know. I mean, all those fans and IU fans can be overbearing at times, especially leading up to the big game. And Lord help us if they win the big game. But that could add a little bit of pressure. And if we're down in Miami and the Hurricane faithful is there, it'll be interesting to say the least. So let's talk real quick. I mean, we haven't mentioned coaches at all. Mario Cristobal, and coach of Miami, and Kurt Cingetti, the coach of IU, are both Nick Saban disciples, right? Assistants. And you can tell by the way they coach their teams.
Yeah, just the intensity that they both have.
Both teams really don't make a whole lot of mistakes. They both like to run the ball. They want to get pressure with 4. Mm-hmm. And I can't give enough credit for the job both of these coaches did, but especially Cingetti, where he walked into IU day 1 and just basically said, "We are going to win." End of story. That confidence, that swagger, that cockiness, whatever you want to call it, it resonated with the players. Plus, he brought his JMU team, half of them with him, who just came off of a very successful season. So they understood his MO, what it takes to win. And 2 years ago, they represented themselves very well. And then now this year, with the new quarterback and Mendoza, a couple pieces here and there, he brought it to life. And Cristobal resurrected Miami, after 2 years, and coming from Oregon back home and to Miami, he said we're going to play for national championships, and here they are, both teams. So your take on the 2 coaches?
Well, they've kind of done it in different ways. Like Cingetti has really hit the transfer portal, which, I mean, if you're going to be successful at IU, you have to do. Indiana's not a recruiting hotbed. And you can dip into Illinois and Ohio a little bit, but Ohio kids still go to Ohio State for the most part. Maybe that'll change over the next couple of years. We'll see. But I mean, he had to hit the portal hard, whereas Cristobal, it's more high school recruiting and then picking up key pieces throughout the portal. I mean, mostly quarterback play with Cam Ward last year and then Carson Beck this year. They'll probably go portal again next year. But I mean, you look at, their other impact guys. Those are guys he recruited out of high school, out of Miami. So, I mean, it's a lot of hometown kids, who none of them have seen Miami ever win. So it's been a lot of just stories for them about how the U used to be. Uh, Cristobal was a part of that. He played there when the U was popping. So for them to get back, I mean, that's a great story as well. It's not just
it is.
I use, kind of Cinderella underdog. It's Miami's come back to, the national spotlight and prominence.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you have competing storylines that are, to me, equally as intriguing.
Yeah, and I think that you got the head coaches, right? Saban disciples, different styles of narrative of who they are and what their team is about. Yeah, I think it's going to make for good TV. I really do. I can't wait to watch it. Go ahead.
We both know whoever wins. I mean, these are two of the most just insufferable fan bases.
Yes, exactly.
And for them to both have actual good storylines, it's just going to make it worse. I don't know who would actually be worse from a fan base standpoint.
For me, IU fans would be worse. I'm sorry. I mean, I
think so, but in sports media, there's more Miami guys just in the sports media sphere.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, every sports media show, there's a Miami guy on it.
Well, listening to them. Yeah. Well, let's put this out there to our fans. Thank you for watching last episode. We had record number of views, so we appreciate that. Let's put this out there to them. Over under, all right? This is a little fun. Over under, give me a number of how many times they're going to show Michael Irvin on the sideline. 10? 10?
Let's see. I'm gonna say every single drive. If they get a first down every single drive, so yeah, I said it at 9.5.
9.5. So drop it in the comments here on YouTube. Do you think it's going to be over or under 9.5 times that they?
And then here's another one. This is more open ended, but who's going to be the IU celebrity equivalent that they keep going back to?
Well, here's something that should happen, and if ESPN does not do this, shame on ESPN. Corso was an IU coach back in the early 70s, right? If he's not on the set, not as predicting, but if he's not on the set, that's a crying shame. That is a crying shame.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to get to the game. Get him on that set. Let him bake in the spotlight. Let him enjoy IU's moment right now. And, I just think
you started the season with a tribute to Corso. I mean, you don't have to have a tribute. You don't even have to let him talk, but just show him around the crew, at the game, in the suite, just enjoying the game.
So besides Corso, Mark Cuban, they'll probably show Mark Cuban.
Is it going to be Cuban? Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Either Cuban or, let's see, is there... I'm just trying to think if there's any IU.
I mean, they don't have a famous football alum. They don't have that.
No, they don't. So they don't. But I'm just thinking if they're a basketball guy who's down there, or I think it'll be Corso or Cuban. I mean, Cuban probably.
It'll probably be Cuban. Would be my guess. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So I would say he's going to get dwarfed in comparison to, or is it Mellencamp? John Mellencamp. He's a big. I mean, granted, most of his money went to the basketball, but him and Cuban are the reasons. I mean, let's not forget they're the reasons why IU could go out in the portal and get these guys, because those anonymous donors. There's the two of the biggest donors in IU history right there. But you know what? That's the way the game is played today, and tip your hat to them.
Right. It's not like Miami's shy of donors either.
No, they're not. They just got to keep that one donor, the one booster guy.
Right, yeah. Shapiro.
Yeah, Shapiro. Keep him, stay away.
Yeah. I don't know if he's got any more money to give, but
no, he might not. All right, so let's go one step. I'm going to give you a statement, and you tell me who has the advantage if this happens. If the game is slow and physical, who has the advantage?
IU.
IU? Okay. Yeah, I think if it's slow but physical, I don't know. I mean, Miami's line,
but IU's offensive line is I mean, they're
Yeah.
not pushovers. They're not.
No, they're not. They're not. But I don't know.
I mean, for crying out, their center was the MVP of the Rose Bowl. For
Well,
crying
yes.
out loud.
Yeah. Well, that is true. It was. But I don't know. Okay. So we'll disagree there. If it becomes a shootout, high scoring game, who has the advantage?
I mean, IU can put up points.
They can.
But I don't know how they would respond if their defense is also giving up points. For that, I'm going to go Miami because they can also quick strike you.
Yep.
They can give up a touchdown and 3 plays later they've got 6 up on the board.
Yeah, I will go with Miami there as well. And the reason why, like you said, the quick strikes, but I think Carson Beck, because he's been in these type of playoff games before with Georgia, I think he's not going to be as rattled if it comes down to the shootout.
See, here's another thing that I don't think Mendoza is either, because there's a lot of guys in Miami who love Mendoza. And I mean, I've been listening to the Levitard show a little bit. They're based out of Miami. I mean, from what they're saying, I mean, it's kind of the older generation, but they're rooting for Mendoza just because he's truly.
Well, there is, right.
Too, where I don't think it's going to be as hostile as we're thinking towards IU just because of that.
Well, IU, I mean, if you watch the Peach Bowl,
they travel.
I mean,
a couple of my friends do that for football.
A couple of my friends that went to IU were in a group chat from back home, and my phone was blown up all game long because he was sending pictures and talking about, and there was a lot of people there, and IU. I mean, they are rabid fans. I mean, think about it. I mean, for basketball, yes, they travel all over. I mean,
right.
Small town, Batesville traveled 2,000 people up to Kokomo for a game, a high school basketball game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're going to travel.
I mean, that's what Indiana does.
Indiana does. And when they've never experienced this before, they're going to come out of the woodwork. Right. So, yeah. All right. Who handles the pressure better?
I'm going to say Miami just because they're at home. I know I said that's not going to be as big of an advantage, but more so just it's not going to be a disadvantage to IU, I don't think. But it's still going to be an advantage for Miami. Being at home is going to relax them a little bit. I mean, they are kind of still playing with house money. I mean, there's a decent amount of people that didn't think they should be in the playoff to begin with. But they're the underdog. I know they're at home. They're the underdogs. They've got a quarterback who's played in the championship game before.
Right.
Irrelevant that he didn't play all that well, but he's been there. He knows what he needs to do. I don't know that it's. I mean, we're splitting hairs. I don't think that it's
right. I think the first 5 minutes, right, of the game is going to. I mean, that's where people, you're feeling each other out. Yeah. This is where the nerves. This is where like major mistakes can happen.
They're turnover on. Up. I think they'd be too amped up. Yeah.
A turnover, a misassignment because they want to get to the quarterback real quick, and oops, there he goes for should have been a 15-yard out pass, but instead the cornerback broke too late or too early for the pick and missed it, and now it turns into an 80-yard touchdown. So I think the first 5 minutes are going to dictate the pressure, the nerves. We'll see, but IU has always handled the pressure. Down against Penn State, came back, got the touchdown to win the ball game, against Ohio State in the championship game. Those things, they're calm. Mendoza is a big part of that, and so is Cingetti, because he knows that his team is good. And when you know that, you have a lot of confidence in your ability to perform. And then who panics first if they're down by 10?
I would say IU just because I don't think they've been down by 10.
Not this year.
It doesn't necessarily mean that they will panic.
Right.
I just think they would be more likely just because it'd be a spot that they haven't been in before.
I think they were down. I think they might have been down.
Were they down by
10 or 13? Yeah, I think Penn State.
Were they? Okay.
I think. But yeah, that's a big game at that time for IU, but this is the coup de grace.
Right. Well, in a much better team too. Penn State was not very good this year.
They weren't, but their defense wasn't horrible. It's not a Miami defense,
No.
But yeah. So we'll see. We will see. Yeah, I think IU will, especially if IU goes 3 and out. Like say Miami goes down, opening drive gets 3 points. IU goes 3 and out. Miami quick strikes, 1 or 2 plays, boom, it's 10-0. There's it was a jab and then a boom knockout punch. Roundhouse. How's IU going to respond to that? Are they going to take chances to score, or are they going to try to play their game? So yeah. All right. With that comes.
I have one more thing real quick on this game. So I'm tired of Michael Irvin with his belt to ass thing. Strictly for the fact that yes, they won, but if you win the game, but the other team had a chance to win the game on the last play of the game, I think by definition you didn't beat their ass. You just won the game. All right. You didn't do what IU did to Oregon. Okay. You won with 18 seconds left. You didn't beat anybody's ass. You just won the game. Calm down a little bit. I think you got to win by double digits to do this. All right. It's a bit much, if you ask me. Just win by double digits, or you start whipping Gatorade.
Wow, but that's the swagger, right, of the U.
Right. It's also the stupidity, but
it is right. But hey,
maybe a little cocaine too.
Yeah, well, you never know. All right, so now.
I think we know.
So now we're going to pick a winner. Winner, final score. So why don't you go ahead, son? Go final score, winner.
I am going to go IU field goal at the end, 27-24.
All right. This is tough. I think it's going to be 38-30. I think they have to put up a lot of points to win. So 38-31. You. Anything else that you want to add?
I don't have anything else. No.
All right. Monday night. Is that the game?
Yep. Monday night.
So check in, tune in, do us a favor. This is the new Cincinnati Sports Scene. This is what we're becoming. More national games, real breakdowns, not a whole lot of fluff in there. So do us a favor. Drop your picks in the comments. Indiana or Miami. Final score for us. And then go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see who's right when the trophy is lifted. So until next time, you don't want to miss it because we're going to be talking NFL coaching carousel. A lot of big ones that dropped here just recently. And
yes,
we have our takes on that as well. So until next week.
Zach Taylor still has a job.
Until next week. For Sam, I'm Dave. Everybody take care.
See ya.